Hey, it's Jake Mace, the vegan athlete. Just got home from working out and in workout clothes. But after the workout, we're going to do a couple of gardening projects, and I thought you guys might want to see what project I'm working on tonight. I have got 2 piles of potatoes here. I'm going to plant these in my garden right now. It's middle of November, and the Phoenix area is a good time of year to plant onions, potatoes, and garlic because it can overwinter and be ready by the springtime. Too early, and the heat of the Phoenix area will melt my potatoes and my garlic, so now's the perfect time. I got these potatoes, which are brand new. I just purchased them from Whole Foods. Now you guys can go to a nursery and you can get what's called a seed potato. Okay, a potato seed. It looks just like a potato. And the reason why they call it a seed potato is because nobody has sprayed anything on it to inhibit the roots from growing out of the potato. We call them the eyes. Whole Foods doesn't spray anything on their potatoes to inhibit the eye growth. And so if you get a potato from Whole Foods that's organic, normally it grows pretty well. I just bought these potatoes tonight, and I put them on this little stand that used to have something in it. So I'm reusing this stand, whatever it is. I'm gonna put this on my counter in the light, like that, for a couple of weeks. Have the shades open, sunlight's coming through, and this way the eyes that grow out of the potato will be used to the light, and I can then plant them in my garden, and they will pretty much take and they'll grow into more potatoes. And usually from about 1 potato, I can grow several pounds of more potatoes. So it's like printing your own money. I did this process already 2 weeks ago with these potatoes. These potatoes used to look like these potatoes. And now they look like this 2 weeks later. You can see how the yellow ones that used to look like this have gotten a different color on them, and they have the eyes coming out. See that? Purple and then green. Now let me show you. Each potato has a top side and a bottom side. If you can look underneath, this is the bottom side because that little blip or little nipple on there, that's where the potato used to be connected to the plant. And they broke it off, and then up here is where all the eyes are. So when you're looking at a brand new potato, make sure you recognize that is where it broke off the plant. And up here is where all the eyes are. And so I'm going to put the eyes facing up. So here's another example. This is where it broke off the plant, right there. And up here are where all the eyes are. Put the eyes facing up. All right? So I put all my eyes facing up, and now I have a pretty good collection of potatoes that are growing pretty nice. Now, a lot of gardeners will tell you can cut them into fourths. You can cut this into fourths, and as long as you have 2 eyes on each piece, you can actually plant 4 out of 1. So I can cut it like this and cut it like this, and I can plant all 4 pieces and they'll all grow more potatoes. I'm gonna just cut it in half. So watch what I do. I'm gonna just take this right here. I'm gonna look for the eyes. That's a good collection right there, and there's some more over here. I'm gonna just cut it in half right down the middle like this. And now I'm going to plant each of these potatoes, those pieces like that, under the ground in my garden. And hopefully by springtime, I'll have a ton of potatoes. So I'm going to do this with all my potatoes here. Cut them all in half. And I'll meet you guys outside in about 5 minutes, and I'll show you how I'm going to plant them. All right, guys, we're back outside in the nighttime. You know, I can't always garden in the day. I'm an urban gardener. I'm in the city, and I gotta do some things during the day in the city. And so sometimes the best gardening time for me is at night. And the old wives' tale says that if you plant a garden like onions and garlic and potatoes by the full moon, they will do so much better. And not only do we have a full moon, but we have a super moon tonight. The super moon. It's the closest the moon has been to Earth since the 1940s. And I know it's just a placebo effect to my eye because the naked eye can't pick it up. But it does seem bigger and brighter than usual. Maybe it's just my my will. Hopefully the super moon, the closest and brightest and biggest moon we've had in the world in 70 years, will bring extra strength to these potatoes and make them grow into the biggest and brightest potatoes that the Vegan Athlete has ever had in 70 years. All right, let's do it. Now, I've planted potatoes in the past in pots or in bags. The reason why that's good is because you can put potatoes in the bottom of the bag, and as the plant that grows out of these eyes, as the plant grows above the soil, you add more soil. Then the plant grows again, you add more soil. Plant grows again, you add more soil. And then potatoes will grow all along the stalk. I don't have that luxury right now, I just have my raised beds. So I'm gonna put these potatoes about 8 inches to a foot under the soil and just see what happens, okay? Last season I had New Zealand spinach here in this bed, and you guys can see how the New Zealand spinach is already coming back with vengeance, okay? All this stuff is an edible green. It's pretty good, but I know for a fact how invasive this stuff is because last year it took over everything. It was growing out of the bed, like 8 feet out of the bed. So I'm gonna thin it out a little bit, and I'll either eat these pieces or I'll give them to my animals, okay? And then I'm gonna kind of lay these potatoes out and give them some space here to grow into plants. Maybe about a square foot between each one, just like that. I've already amended this bed with worm castings and compost and rock dust minerals and coconut coir. By amend the bed for beginners, it means I already added to the bed. I already threw worm castings in there, I threw compost in there, I threw coconut coir in there, and I threw the azomite rock dust powder in there. So my soil is pretty awesome. If you guys look at it here, it's pretty black, pretty spongy, and it's full of worms and nutrients. And that rock dust is key because now my soil is full of minerals. The potatoes that I'm gonna grow are gonna be infinitely healthier and more packed with nutrients than the ones that Whole Food is selling. So we're gonna take this guy and just kind of dig down here a ways. I would say you can dig down about, maybe, I would say about a foot. Man, that soil is so good. Look at that stuff. It's just the best soil I've ever grown in. When I first began gardening, I really had a hard time getting the soil right because all the compost I was using was so new, it was so hot. You know, by hot, I mean like it was so harsh. But every year that's gone by, my soil has been aging, you know, like a fine wine. And now it's the best soil. This is year 5, year 6. It's the best soil I've ever had the luxury of planting in. So there we go. We're gonna put the cut part down and we're gonna put the eyes up. All right? And lay it right down inside there. Push the dirt back over top. That's it, you guys. That's all we're gonna do. And when the plant starts to grow up, what I might do is I might put about a few more inches of dirt on top and try to encourage it to grow more potatoes. So now we got the purple guy. This guy has some really nice eyes. I was watching some YouTube videos with some potato experts that were all from Ireland. And I figured that if they're from Ireland, you should listen to them because the Irish know their potatoes. And these guys were talking about, they call this to chit the potato, which is to let the eyes grow out. So they're saying they were chitting their potatoes. And when you chit the potatoes in the dark, they say, a lot of guys said that they don't grow as well as chitting them in the light. And so they say that growing them or chitting them on a tray, like I showed you guys earlier, in the house with diffused light coming into your kitchen is the best way to do it. And so we'll see if they're right. Okay, we're gonna put this about 10 inches to a foot down there too. Maybe the camera can see it sitting all down there in his new home. And now the dirt, gonna go right on top. Here it goes. That's it. So by the power of the super moon, I bless thee with potatoes. So I'm in year 5 of my gardening project, and now what I'm noticing is that I don't have to plant much of anything anymore because the plants, there's so many of them, they reseed themselves every season, and I get just free plants. It's like printing your own money.
So you don't have any way to like protect, like you don't have like fences all around this, right?
No.
Because I planted some stuff when we first moved out there and the bunnies got everything.
Oh, see, everybody has their own pests. Mine are birds. We're back here, many months later. Seed bank box, let's see how my seed potatoes did 5-6 months later. Did they grow potatoes or not? Because I gotta take this crappy looking bed, take the grass out, take the potatoes out, and put sweet peppers in its place. Like anybody else, I do get grass in my beds. Most of my raised beds don't have any grass, but this one does have grass, and I'm constantly pulling it out by the root and getting rid of it, which I don't mind because potatoes and grass can grow together. Here's the plant. Oh, look at that. I'm just digging things out of the way and I'm already seeing red potatoes coming out. And drop them inside this basket. Oh, look down here, there's even more. All right. It's like magic. It's like if you were to put like a $1 coin inside some dirt and then 6 months later, like $100 comes out. That's what gardening is like. So let's pull up this. Look at all the little potatoes on there. See, that's how they grow, on the roots like that, little tiny potatoes. So I could have left that and grown more potatoes, but we're gonna grow these again in the fall. I'm really happy with my potato harvest so far, and I want you guys to see it right now. So let's keep going here and see how many we pull out of this one little spot. Look next to it, the yellow ones. Oh, look underneath here. There's just more brown ones, yellow ones, red ones. It's exciting. It's like Easter egg hunting. It's like how adults become kids again. They just grow, man. Guys, don't get addicted to social media and to the internet. Don't forget to get addicted to things that are in the earth, like gardening, because it's so cool to do something like this and later on to reap the benefits of your infrastructure and of your work. Okay, I'm gonna keep going here, keep pulling out these potatoes, and I will meet you guys back here in about 8 minutes. Oh, yeah. See, I'm finding things like this, like little grubs, and I'm of the belief system that grubs are good for gardening because it is a sign of healthy soil. People always freak out when they see grubs. Like, they're eating the plant's roots, and I find that they're helping to make the soil more nutrient dense. I've never had grubs eat my plants. I always have healthy plants up top, even though there's a grub every now and then down below. And I'm finding so many potatoes. I'm gonna have to stop digging because I've only been digging for like 5 minutes and I just keep finding awesome potatoes like this. And here's what I'm looking at. So this was the potato that we planted together. See how it's cut in half? That's my original seed potato cut in half. And then the plant grows out of the eyes and all of the new potatoes grow on the root system. And they spread out and they shoot the new potatoes everywhere. So this is my first time growing potatoes, but I was very smart. I was smart enough to watch the Irish people on YouTube. Not only do I love their accents, but I also love their knowledge of growing potatoes. Let's go wash them off and see how much harvest we got. Whenever I wash off carrots and potatoes and such, I always do it in the well of a tree so that my tree, like this is a sapote, redland sapote from Seamus O'Leary, and it'll get all the nutrients of the soil washing down. Here we go, guys. I'm so excited. It's a big time success. A lot of times gardening, you pay $80 to grow one tomato. You know what I mean? But since you're enthusiastic, you love every minute of it. But this was definitely a really good, like, maybe $5 investment with a few organic seed potatoes from Whole Foods. I cut them all in half. I chitted them before I cut them on the counter. You guys saw me. And now I have this amazing harvest in just 5 minutes of harvest. And that's out of a 6 foot by 3 foot raised bed. And I only harvested 20% of the raised bed. I gotta go in there. There was 80% more to harvest. Potatoes for days, you guys. Go vegan. Grow that food at home. Grow potatoes because carbs are your friend and they're gonna fuel your vegan athleticism.